For as long as I can remember, I've lived with a mind split between anxiety and depression. The hardest part about it for me has always been a symptom known as dissociation. Over the years, I resisted treatment, but when I ultimately gave in to being diagnosed and beginning therapy, I found a lot of much-needed relief in having the words to describe what I go through day to day. Dissociation is defined in psychiatry as a separation of normally related mental processes resulting in one group functioning independently from the rest, leading in extreme cases to disorders such as multiple personality. Thankfully, the dissociation I experience is on the less extreme end of the spectrum, but nonetheless has proven to be a difficult roadblock for me to overcome. So what does it feel like? When I think about what it's like to dissociate, I think of it as if I become a line drawing of myself, something vaguely representative of a whole person, yet largely incomplete. Some people compare it to an out-of-body experience, which I find to be fairly true. To me, it feels like a disconnection from reality, as if my mind and body split into two entities. My body goes through the motions of day-to-day life while my mind checks out. I'm never unaware of what I'm doing, it just feels like my body is put on autopilot while my mind sits back and watches. It feels as if I am existing just barely, the bare minimum on Earth, while my soul follows along. I don't feel grounded in anything, and it feels almost like my life is a movie I can't stop watching. Truly, it feels like I become someone else, a less defined, blurrier version of myself. It really is like being an outline of a person. I have all the parts that go together, but there's a substance that's lacking. In some ways, I think dissociating is my brain's way of protecting me from panic attacks, but sometimes I would rather just have the panic attack instead of sudden feelings of emptiness. Sometimes I use things like cigarettes or alcohol to try and bridge the gap between my physical body and my mental state. Unsurprisingly enough, that's not the best way to cope. Sometimes when it's happening, I look in the mirror and feel like I don't recognize myself. I know my own face, but it seems wrong in a way I can never pinpoint, as if I've been put in an alternate reality where everything is just a little bit different. When I was a child and before I knew what dissociation was, experiencing it was overwhelming and often scary, because I thought there was something seriously wrong with me. It made me feel crazy and abnormal. When I first heard the word dissociation and its definition, it felt like a weight lifted. I had the answer to the question I had for so long. What's happening to me? It happens often very randomly. In class, at work, driving, walking, talking. It can put a real strain on my relationships because people think I'm not listening. Which I guess sometimes I'm not, but it's not for lack of wanting to listen. My struggle with my mental health has defined most of my life. As I got older and older from childhood, I began to wonder if I would be able to accomplish anything, if I could ever stand to face the trials and tribulations of it all. I graduate college tomorrow. I still wonder about my future, about my mental health, but every day I'm alive, even when I'm dissociating, I learn more and more how capable I am of overcoming it.